All right, good Tuesday afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Jordan Evans here on the 7 News Facebook and YouTube page. We are doing a live stream update on the snow we are expected to start to see falling here soon. We are tracking that at this time. It is falling now in a few areas, but still waiting on it here for the DC Metro. So we'll give everyone just a quick minute to chime in. Feel free to comment your location if you want an update for your specific area. I'll try to do my best to zoom into spots and let you know in terms of snow totals, the timing. But overall, you can see this map right in front of you that this is the forecast still from the First Alert Weather Team with that 4 to 6 inch ballpark for the DC Metro across northern and central Virginia. Potentially a few higher amounts there south of the Beltway, Fredericksburg to Stafford County. Maybe parts of southern Maryland getting 6 inches or more, and then totals decrease, of course, farther north. So Hagerstown, Cumberland, some of the data is really backed off now. Maybe only 2 inches or so for places up to the north, but at least 2 to 4 are still likely there from Frederick south toward Montgomery County. Again, so this is our update here on Facebook and YouTube. I've just pulled this up so I can look at your comments live. Again, feel free to chime in for any questions you may have. Looks like Elvira, if that's how you pronounce your name. Flurries here in Montclair. So again, you're starting to see that snow starting in parts of the area here. We'll go ahead and show you the timeline. We'll get back to this map as more start to join and chime in. So snow begins until 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock is when the intensity is supposed to pick up, heavy snow at times. So once we get toward the late afternoon, early evening, the snowfall really again starts to pick up quickly across the area. Some of those snowfall rates anywhere from 1 to 2 inches per hour. And doesn't mean, again, it's going to be snowing heavy the entire time. But when you get those heavy snow bands, of course, that can set the stage as we get into potentially some higher snow totals. So that's what we're looking at as we get into the evening and early overnight hours as well. Prince George's County, Sharkey, Mark asking here about Prince George's County. Yeah, so we're, again, DC Metro in that 4 to 6 inch range. Prince George's County in particular, if you're on the southern side of the county, you may be on that 5 to 6 inch window. We're closer to College Park, maybe looking at maybe 4 inches or so. I do think as you go north or south to north across the DC Metro, the Capital Beltway, we may see those totals decrease. So again, Montgomery County, Howard County, closer to Baltimore, maybe on the 3 to 4 inch range. Loudoun County, maybe that 3 to 4 inch range, but then farther south, Prince William County, southern Fairfax County, of course, Calvert County, Maryland, maybe get in that 5 to 6 inch range as we go over the rest of tonight. All right, so again, we're waiting on the snow to start. That's the timeline. We can get back to that here as more tend to join. So here's what we're looking at right now, the radar. You can see the light snow beginning now for places around Prince William County, Fairfax County, Waldorf, La Plata, even Upper Marlboro, Andrews Air Force Base there, southeast sides of the Beltway, starting to see some flurries too. This is moving in from the west. We can even zoom this out and show you still all the snow that's to come as we go over the next several hours from areas out to the west. And you can really see the darker blues there taking shape across central Virginia. There's already snow on the ground around the I-64 corridor from Richmond farther to the west. Charlottesville already seeing a couple of inches on the ground where we are seeing some of those higher snowfall rates. So again, from Richmond around Fredericksburg, Stafford County, King George County, that's where we're seeing again some of that snow at this time. Here's one of the camera views. So this is King George, Virginia. Snow is coming down, but notice the roads were still pretty wet. Ground temperatures, they have not been below freezing too long, so it's going to take a little time for the snow to start to stack up. You can see the medians there, the shoulders off the roads. That's the snow starting to pile up on the grassy surfaces, but parking lots, roads at this time, King George, Virginia, this is where we are seeing just wet conditions currently. But as snow starts to pick up, I do expect to start to see the snow stack up on the roads. Right now, Frostburg, Maryland, snow is definitely coming down. We've had colder air, of course, over the higher terrain, so we are seeing the snow quickly pile up for western Maryland over toward Cumberland as well. In fact, we can pull up the Cumberland camera at this time and take a look at the live view. That's Allegheny High School there in Cumberland, Maryland. So we're starting to see that pile up. And here's one of the cameras down toward Richmond, Virginia. This is at St. Joseph's Villa And again, you can see that view of snow already on the ground. It's already piling up there in some of the roads and parking lots. Can't really see too well from this camera point, but maybe that's 1 to 2 inches already on the ground around the Richmond area. So we'll check some of those snow reports coming in from the National Weather Service as well. Again, things are just getting started. You don't see snow at this time. Live view from the Watergate Hotel looking back toward Georgetown. Would expect some flurries to start flying here in the next 30 minutes to an hour. 3 o'clock, snow picks up. The winter storm warning technically started here at 1 o'clock to 1:15 in the afternoon here for the DC Metro, and that's going to stay in effect until 7 o'clock later this evening. So winter storm warning just started, so winter storm conditions will be picking up here shortly as we go across the rest of this forecast for the evening. Looking at some other comments here. Damascus, Maryland, again, we're getting the snow soon. Snow totals anywhere from probably 4 to 6. Northern Maryland, I would say you're in that 2 to 4 inch range, closer to Hagerstown, Frederick, even Westminster area, closer to Baltimore, going to be in that 3 to 4 inch zone as well. All right, so the futurecast. Got my computer next to me. It's how I'm looking at some of this data that you're seeing as well. So snow continues, and you notice those darker blues. This has been the trend with the data over the last 1, even 2 days. As early as Sunday, when I was working Sunday morning, I was even noticing some of the model data saying heavier totals may stay just south of the Beltway. So those darker blues, that's where especially the heavy snow bands probably set up. We're already seeing that in central Virginia. So as those start to move farther north and from the west as well, I do think the heavier snow rates will be just south of the Beltway, Waldorf to Leonardtown, Stafford, Fredericksburg, even Dale City, Woodbridge, parts of the DC Metro, Quantico, easily getting some of those heavier snow bands throughout this evening. As we go toward 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, it is still coming down. So Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson, she'll be here tracking this tonight. You can watch her on the air, of course, at 10 and 11, and this evening at 5 and 6 for the latest as the snow continues to pile up. Eventually, it's going to start to wind down by 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Looks like we're left with flurries by 3 to 4 a.m., and we'll be back on the air at 4:30, starting tomorrow morning, of course. Meteorologist Brian Vandegraff and myself will be tracking the snow as it continues to pile up, at least from the early overnights. But then by the time we're on the air, 4:30, 5 a.m., looks like the snow is going to be done. For the morning rush hour, Wednesday, I think will be snow-free. Still some snow flurries, some freezing drizzle can't be ruled out, but I do think we'll be mostly dry. But what will be left behind is 3 to 6 inches of snow across the DC Metro. So it'll be slow going for tomorrow morning. Road conditions, again, snow-packed, snow-covered roads. But I will say I do think the roads may be better this round than what we saw in January, thanks to temperatures being close to that freezing mark overnight tonight. So it's not going to be a widespread hard freeze with roads freezing over quickly. It's going to take time again for the roads to become snow-covered. If anything, the bridges and the overpasses, elevated surfaces, those will have all the slick spots, especially for tomorrow morning. But once we get through the afternoon, notice it's pretty dry. We'll keep the clouds overhead, but pretty dry by midday into the early afternoon. Then we get a second round of rain that begins after 4 or 5 o'clock. I'm saying rain because it's temperatures that start to climb easily once we get into the evening of tomorrow. So Wednesday evening, temperatures start to warm. We're talking upper 30s, even low 40s. We're expecting rain around the DC Metro. That may start off as a wintry mix, maybe some freezing rain. Areas to the northwest, Highway 15, so Frederick, Maryland, potentially places like Leesburg, Clarksburg, and Montgomery County, starting off with some freezing rain just a little bit by 5 or 6 p.m., but then it quickly changes over to rain as warm air continues to expand and push farther to the north and west. Showers will be on and off Wednesday evening through about midnight on Thursday, and may have some leftover spotty showers for the Thursday morning drive. But after that, some of the data clears out the clouds by 9 or 10 o'clock Thursday morning. So we're left with potentially mostly sunny skies for your Thursday afternoon. And the winds may pick up slightly out of the southwest. So it looks like temperatures may be able to climb to the upper 40s, even low 50s in some spots by Thursday afternoon. So the snow that's falling today, tonight, and early tomorrow, it's not going to be here to stay very long. As temperatures, they're just not going to be that cold. It's not a repeat of January where we had repeat Arctic cold and the snow was here for over a week. This snow will be gone quickly. I think by Thursday, Friday, we're going to just see the snow piles left over, maybe some left on the grass, especially where you get those 6-inch snow totals. But this weekend, another weather maker comes in with rain, and especially on Sunday, maybe looking at some warmer temperatures Sunday, and that could set the stage for a lot of melting again as we get into the second half of the weekend. So good news there. Again, here's our range in terms of what we're forecasting: a good 4 to 6 inches here. DC Metro, at least a 60% chance that we will get 4 inches of snow. So that's why our forecast is calling for 4 to 6. High-end amount, if this is a blockbuster event, which it won't be, but very low chance there, 5% technically for an 8-inch snow total here at DC. If we do get 8-inch snow totals, those would likely be farther south across southern Maryland, northern Neck, even central Virginia. And of course, the low end, 90% chance of at least getting 2 inches of snow. So at least snowfall for the DC area. We will see that for tonight into early tomorrow. The impacts, we've been not really changing these. Not really much has changed at all with the forecast. So moderate to heavy snow picks up 6 p.m. until 2 o'clock in the morning. Snow-covered roads, so poor visibility this evening in the midnight hour. And then in terms of the airports, expect the travel delays to start soon. Even some flight cancellations probably coming in this evening. And even tomorrow morning may still have some cancellations or delays as the airports, again, are removing that snow overnight for flights tomorrow morning. So school closings, a lot of early dismissals already today. If your school has not announced a closure tomorrow, it's likely coming at some point because snow is expected to be on the ground for tomorrow morning, which, again, the side streets, that's least priority for the snow crews. Snow removal crews for tomorrow morning. So side streets will probably be snowpacked to start tomorrow, and then we'll see those start to improve throughout the day on your Wednesday. All right, back to the radar. Let's get a look here again. Snow flurries just now starting. DC Metro, we're starting to see some snow pickup around King George, Virginia. We also have a camera view from Spotsylvania there in Spotsylvania County, just south of Fredericksburg. And here is the live view. So snow's coming down. Spotsylvania, notice it there piling up on the grassy surfaces, but the parking lots were still wet at this time. Fredericksburg likely seeing the same thing. Stafford County starting to see that snow pick up too. We don't have any cameras around Woodbridge to Dale City, unfortunately, but down to southern Maryland, we have Leonardtown that we can take a look at as well. And again, some snow already falling there in downtown Leonardtown, Maryland. Nothing piling up just yet, but it will be shortly here over the next hour or so. Farther to the north, live look at Boyd's. Anyone watching from Montgomery County, here's Boyd's, Maryland. That is not snow. That is the tarp over the soccer field there, one of the soccer complexes there from Boyd's, Maryland, from Dulles International. Here's the live view again. Still waiting on some snow flurries, and it looks like flakes are already flying now at Dulles International. So can confirm snow is falling now at Dulles International, Loudoun County, far eastern Loudoun County there. All right, we may wrap things up here shortly because we'll be back on doing another update tonight from Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson. Looks like National Harbor view, not seeing snowflakes falling right now, but they'll be falling before you know it. Again, this was it for our Facebook Live, our YouTube Live. So we'll be back on doing updates. I'll leave you with the snowfall map one more time for the last minute. Not too many changes. If anything, there may be some lower snow totals areas to the north and west of the Capital Beltway, but still pretty confident on 4 to 6 inches here around the district, inner parts of the DC Metro, but then outer layers or the outer suburbs, of course, Leesburg to Gaithersburg, Waldorf, Upper Marlboro. Definitely going to see potentially some lower totals to the north, but farther south, looking at potentially 5 to even 6 inches as well. So snow comes to an end. 4 o'clock Wednesday morning, we get at break, and then it's back to sort of that wintry mix to start Wednesday evening. And then a cold rain for Wednesday night and Thursday. So that, again, will help improve road conditions, but it's going to turn into a slushy mess Wednesday night into early Thursday. Good news is the sun is back Thursday afternoon into Friday. Valentine's Day Friday, again, looking pretty good. Temperatures in the low 40s, but then we have another system likely coming in for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Some of the data is saying a weekend washout. I do think we'll have breaks in the rain throughout the weekend, but don't plan on much in the way of sunshine for your weekend. Looks like temperatures will stay in the 40s. Sunday may be the warmer day in the low 50s. We're still fine-tuning that forecast. Potentially even a shower or a storm threat for your Sunday, especially to the south and west. There's already a Storm Prediction Center outlook for severe weather across parts of the Kentucky and Arkansas area for Saturday of this weekend. So we'll be watching that, see if that will impact our forecast, of course, for the upcoming weekend. All right, we'll get off of Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for joining. You can read our latest weather blog at WJLA.com.